Good morning, everybody. We're going to get started and call this public meeting to order. Before we stand for the pledge, I want to introduce Manuel Griffin Jr., who's going to lead us in the pledge today. He's a life member of the DVA, the Disabled Veterans Association, Chapter 11 in Dixon City, and is currently Sergeant at Arms for the Archibald 869 American Legion. He served 9 years from 1990 to 1999 as an E4 specialist with military police in the United States Army, and he currently lives in Scranton, and we're happy to have him here to lead us in the pledge. So if everybody would please rise.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which we stand, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Okay, well, we're happy to be up here at the Blakely Borough Building. I just want to recognize the elected officials here in Blakely. So, of course, we have Mayor Mariani, who is the mayor of Blakely, who does a wonderful job, and thank you for having us up here at the Borough Building. The Council President, Lou Perry, Council Vice President, Jeff Cruciani, Councilman Michael Henzis, Councilman Joe Munley, Councilman Kevin Swift, Councilman Edward Alco Jr., Councilman Kyle Birak, the Controller Carl Selly, Tax Collector Debbie Rotel, and the Borough Manager Chris Payon. So thank you for all the work that the great work that you do up here in Blakely, and again, we're happy to be here. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from our last Commissioners meeting.
Motion.
Second, on the question, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the minutes have been approved. This is now the opportunity for the public to address the board on agenda items only. Would anyone like to discuss any of the agenda items? Ma'am? Sure.
Yes, could you tell me on, it would be on page 2, it would be 250162, the appointments. Are they volunteer, well, it wouldn't be a volunteer, it's appointed, but is there a salary attached with them?
No. Could you just state your name for our Rose?
Rose, Nick.
Okay. No, these are volunteer positions. You're talking about the Behavioral Health Intellectual Disabilities
Right.
Board? Yeah, these are volunteer positions. So earlier in the year and last year, we solicited resumes and letters of interest from anyone in the public who was interested in, we have over 30 boards, authorities, and commissions. So these people, some of them, let's see, 2 of them were already on the board. So we're reappointing them, and then we're appointing Commissioner Chermak, who previously served on the board, and it was recommended to us by the head of Behavioral Health, Mickey Drutchell, who's actually sitting next to you, to appoint Kathleen Spencer.
Good. No wonder he was nice enough to give me the chair.
Sure.
So, and also the next one, 250163, that's non-salary?
The LHVA board, yeah, the Lackawanna Heritage Valley, yeah, they do not get paid. That's strictly volunteer.
And I would assume that the Heritage Valley Authority is also none?
Yes, all of our, the only board that people draw any salary is from this, the reassessment, the Assessment Appeals Board.
Okay, thank you.
And just so on that note too, we've had a lot of applications, a lot of people inquired, so, we try to pick the best ones that we can for now, and there's always, if there's openings in the future, we'll relook at those. So anybody that applied that didn't get picked, maybe for the next round if something opens up, so.
Would anyone else like to discuss the agenda items? No? Okay, very good. Okay, we'll move into the business part of the meeting. First up is Resolution 25-0166.
This is approving the current payables. Be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County is hereby approve the following payables. Lackawanna County's General Fund numbers 387-802-388-282 inclusive and totaling $2,941,142.11. The county's electronic funds transfers, including all payroll accounts, totals $7,363,652.86. Adopted regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County held on July 2nd, 2025. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second, on the question. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the resolution has been approved. Resolution 25-0158.
This is the awarding of the Municipal Electronic Recycling Collection Event Grant. Be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County is hereby award the Lackawanna County Municipal Electronic Recycling Collection Event Grant to the following municipalities and their residents: Archbold, Clark Summit, Mayfield, Moscow, Roaring Brook, Scott Township, and Scranton. Adopted regular meeting. The Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County held on July 2nd, 2025. Mr. Chairman, here to speak upon that is our Director of Recycling, Ms. Nicole Shapiro.
Good morning, Commissioners. The municipalities that the chief mentioned all handed in the correct forms for us to give them the up to $1,000 reimbursement for their electronic grants. Some have already had the events, and then we have a few more in the year. They are awesome. They work really well, and I think the municipalities, I think I could speak for them that they appreciate the grant. And I just want to mention that, before we offered the grant, our tonnage for electronics recycling was like maybe 5 tons, in 2021, 8 tons. The first year of the grant, 22, we had 53 tons on the report, and then the past 2 years we had around 30. So I think the grant is doing what it's supposed to do. And yeah, I just thank you for letting us have it. And any questions?
Thank you very much. Any questions for Director Shapiro? Okay, thanks, Nicole. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second, on the question. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the resolution has been approved. Resolution 25-0159.
This is ratifying the Community Development Block Grant Program modifications and revisions. Be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County is hereby ratify the submissions of modifications and revisions of the Community Development Block Grant Program to the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development for federal fiscal year 2020. Dixon City's Borough. This modification reduces the Crystal Park ADA walkway activity budget to $14,559.20 and reallocates $45,681. The housing rehabilitation reallocates the full $33,226.80 balance. Created and fund a new Bernard Szymanski ADA Accessibility Park activity in the federal fiscal year 2020 contract with a total allocation of $78,907.80. Sourced as $45,681 and $33,226.80. The Dunmore Borough modification allocates $1,000 from the Dunmore Housing Rehabilitation and deletes $1,000 from the Dunmore Chestnut Street Improvement Phase 2 Part 2 project. Be it further resolved that the county has complied with the terms of the Pennsylvania Act 179 and has met all citizen participation requirements in connection with the above-mentioned modification. Adopted regular meeting. The Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County held on July 2nd, 2025. Mr. Chairman, here to speak upon that is the Director of Economic Development, Ms. Kristen Magnato.
Thanks, Chief. Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
As was stated, the legislation ratifies the submission of CDBG program modifications to Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development for federal fiscal year 2020 for 2 boroughs, Dixon City, which establishes a new activity for Bernard Szymanski ADA Accessibility Park Project, and for Dunmore Borough, which redirects the funding to the Housing Rehabilitation Program, as was stated. Approval is key for this because these projects are due for September 25th of 2025 this year. And as always, the CDBG projects are no cost to the county.
Very good. Any questions for Director Magnato? Okay, thank you very much. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second, on the question. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the resolution has been approved. Resolution 25-0165.
This is the authorization of De-Accession of materials in the Electric City Trolley Museum collection. Whereas the County of Lackawanna owns the Electric City Trolley Museum, and whereas the museum possesses certain trolley-related items in their collection, which they desire to be de-accessioned because of the condition of the items rendering them unusable. And whereas the Steamtown National Historic Site has agreed to facilitate the disposal of these items, more particularly set forth herein, and whereas the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County believes that the de-accession of these items is in the best interest of the museum and the county. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County do hereby authorize the de-accession of the following items from the Electric City Trolley Museum's collection. 2 St. Louis gauge 32-inch wheels with no motors, 1 JB Brill gauge with wheels with no motors, and 1 JB Grill gauge wheels with no motor or frame. Adopted at a regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County held on July 2nd, 2025. Mr. Chairman, to speak upon that is our solicitor, Mr. Don Frederickson.
Good morning, Commissioners. Before us this morning is a resolution because the Trolley Museum is technically a museum. They have these old trolley trucks that are of no value. They've already been scavengerized for what we can take off of them. Whatever is left is scrap metal at this point. Steamtown is going to take them and scrap them, and they're going to split with us whatever scrap money they get from them. But they do need to be de-accessioned from the collection because as a museum, technically they're part of the collection. So that's what we're approving today.
Very good. Any questions? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second, on the question, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the resolution has been approved. Resolution 25-0167.
This is ratifying a memorandum of understanding. Be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County is hereby ratify a memorandum of understanding between the county and RX Benefits Incorporated, set forth the parties' shared intention to enter into a formal addendum to continue services under the Administrative Services Agreement between the county and RX Benefits for an additional 12-month term. Adopted regularly in the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County held on July 2nd, 2025. Mr. Chairman, to speak upon that is our Director of Human Resources, Ms. Joanne Decker.
Thank you. Good morning. We're requesting the ratification of a memorandum of understanding with our prescription benefits manager, RX Benefits. This is a one-year contract which will be extending our current contract beginning January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2026. We are renewing now to take advantage of an early renewal incentive, so we will get a credit on our invoice totaling $39,000 with the early incentive advantage. This contract does have a slight increase with our admin fee, but it also does have higher, better rebate rates for savings of $1.1 million for 2026. Any questions?
For Director Decker? Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second, on the question, I want to thank Director Decker. Obviously, everybody knows the financial challenges that we had last year and we continue to have. Things are going to be really tight this year again in terms of our cash flow at the end of the year and into next year because we're turning the corner, but we're not there yet. So a savings of $1.1 million is a huge, huge deal. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the resolution has been approved. Resolution 25-0145.
This is authorizing the execution and delivery of a lease purchase agreement. Resolution of the County of Lackawanna, Pennsylvania, authorizing the incurring of lease obligations in an amount not to exceed $3.8 million to be evidenced by a lease purchase agreement with 233 Genesee Street Corporation, to which the local government unit will pay the lesser the rental payments for the purposes of providing certain equipment for the local government unit. Whereas the County of Lackawanna, Pennsylvania is a third-class county organized pursuant to the County Code of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and whereas the local government unit has determined that it is in the best interest of the local government unit to finance certain equipment as more particularly described in Exhibit A, annexed hereto and made part of hereto. Now therefore be it resolved, the local government unit as follows. Approval of the local government unit. The local government hereby authorizes and approves the financing of the equipment pursuant to the lease purchase agreement. The local government unit determines to incur lease obligations debt in the aggregate principal amount not to exceed $3.8 million by execution and delivery of the lease purchase agreement. The local government unit hereby finds and determines the realistic estimated useful life of the equipment is at least 10 years. Amounts payable under the lease rental debt documents, the amounts required to pay under the lease purchase agreement from the current revenues of the local government unit as set forth in Exhibit B, annexed hereto and made part of hereof. Rental payments from current revenues of the Lackawanna account of the local government unit. The local government unit conveys to pay the lesser the rental payments as set forth in Exhibit B, hereto, for government revenues subject to the annual appropriate. Adopted at regular meeting. The Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County held on July 2nd, 2025. Mr. Chairman, to speak upon that is our CFO, Mr. Dave Bolzoni.
Good morning, Commissioners. The Commissioners had previously approved on May 21st the proposal of M&T Equipment Leasing of $3.8 million. to acquire equipment which would upgrade existing stock, which is well beyond its useful life. This request follows the completion of a security assessment that was conducted by Hinton and Associates of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, which included the recommendation of more routine equipment upgrades. The total cost of the acquisition of equipment is $4,842,339.24. Of this total, $1,064,992.40 has been allocated through the ARPA program, and this is a previous allocation. Annual lease payments for the 7-year term are $658,577.86. The county has budgeted for the prorated payment in 2025 of $329,288.93. As was noted by Commissioner Chermak during the May 21st meeting, this lease will set the time frame for equipment acquisition. In an age of heightened digital security, rotating the equipment on a 7-year lease cycle will be advantageous in maintaining a more adequate security level. Right now, we're somewhat vulnerable. The lease rate is 5.317. The delay in placing this approval on the agenda was based on a vendor change. So the current vendor, Presidio, was engaged because they were able to confirm the CoStar's pricing, which we were not able to secure from CDW. And I contacted CDW myself and could not get verification with CoStar's pricing. The Presidio proposal specifically states it's CoStar's compliant.
Very good. Any questions for Mr. Bolzoni? Okay, thank you. We'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second, on the question. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the resolution has been approved. Resolution 25-0160.
This is entering into a Fourth Amendment to the Food Service Management Agreement. Be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County is hereby entering into a Fourth Amendment of the Food Service Management Agreement after receiving the recommendation of the Prison Board between the Lackawanna County Prison and Aramark Correctional Services, LLC, from September 1st, 2025 through August 31st, 2026. Adopted at the regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County held on July 2nd, 2025. Mr. Chairman, once again, here is CFO Bolzoni.
Commissioners, this legislation will approve the extension of a 1-year option on the existing contract with Aramark. Aramark provides food services at the prison. The contract was initiated on August 4th, 2018, and concludes on August 31st, 2025. This approval will extend the contract until August 31st, 2026, prior to which time the service will be subject to a request for proposal process. The existing contract does build in the ability to extend the contract for 1 year, hence the 1-year option. Aramark has proposed fixing costs for the extension period at current rates. Each of the 6 categories within the contract would remain the same. There's a certain rationale for accepting the Aramark proposal, and this rationale as follows. The current unit cost structure for service compares favorably to our peer counties, and as the commissioners recall, there was a memorandum that was prepared, discussed at the prison board in work session, which indicated what the peer counties were assessed for the principal component of the food service, which was inmate meals. From a practical viewpoint, a continuation of the request for proposal process may have resulted in a cost increase when you view the comparison within this context. The risk in opting for a bid was just too great to consider viable unless the Aramark proposed cost was prohibitive, and it's not, as we're certainly aware of in comparing our cost to peer counties. So a continuation of the current cost is favorable. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics measure of 1-year CPI for food was 2.9%. Food away from home, which is another measure and it's principally used for food service cost evaluation, was measured at 3.8%. And as I said, this measure is most used for food service pricing. This measure was included in the initial Aramark proposal and would have likely been included in proposals for food service if we had gone the request for proposal process. So there is a benefit to locking in costs going into the 2026 budget year, which are basically the same as they are in the 2025 budget year. The calculations used by the county in reference to total cost were based on a prisoner count of 633. Calculating the total cost, including staff meals, remains favorable to budget, certainly within the context of the 2025 budget. Cost consistency when constructing the 2026 budget is an important consideration in limiting deficit projections for 2026. Total estimated cost for the two principal components within food service, that would be inmate meals and staff meals, is $1,169,873.85. The budgeted amount for 2025 is $1,405,502. So again, within budget. I would recommend approval.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Mr. Bolzoni? Okay. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second, on the question, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the resolution has been approved. Resolution 25-0161.
So awarding the broadband assessment plan, be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County is hereby awarded the broadband assessment plan to HRG pending review of an agreement by the county solicitor. Adopted regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County held on July 2nd, 2025. Mr. Chairman, once again, here is Mr. Bolzoni.
Commissioners, the purpose of this retention is consistent with the interests of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania in approving broadband service delivery to its residents. Much of the initial focus of the Broadband Equity, Access, and Deployment, or BEAD program, has been on wired delivery. More recently, the program has been expanded to include line-of-sight or wireless solutions, which are similar to that of the Lackawanna County wireless network. And Chief Information Officer Mike Brown is here. He can talk a little bit about the county's existing wireless network.
Well, thank you, Dave. Since 2013, Lackawanna County embarked on a new initiative of doing microwave-related services or wireless servicing around the county, which resulted in an annual benefit of saving the county over $400,000 a year through all the connections we had around for public safety and our internal offices. This agreement allows us to target strategic areas and actually connect with the BEAD programs to actually build out new connection points that other ISPs can use to reach our citizens that are underserved and not served at all in our rural communities. And this will also help us move forward with our solution plan of allowing first responders to reach back to 911 at a no cost to them using our network, and providing services to our seniors through telematics and other means. So this is a great initiative for us to put out the plan, to get out our services, and to continue to help our citizens.
Mike, when you say underserved, so explain that. You mean people in the county that have access but don't have the means to get the internet, or what does that mean exactly?
Underserved normally goes to residents that are receiving under 25 megs of download rate of internet service, which means they're normally on a DSL connection or a satellite connection, which needs to be stated that is different from a wireless connection. We don't have to worry about satellites beaming anything down, but we do have line of sight issues. Mm-hmm. So by doing these surveys, we can actually strategically target these areas and allow other ISPs to build out solutions to our residents.
Talk a little bit about how this is a positive thing for economic development in the county.
Well, as we expand our footprint, we allow new businesses that were in areas where they have a large build-out to bring in fiber. Mm-hmm. We can actually connect to them. So we've worked with the chamber numerous times of putting services at their incubators. And as we deal with the Lackawanna County library system, we've shown that we can reach different locations and provide services to our constituents.
And am I wrong in saying that the ultimate goal of this, if this passes today, this company comes in, they do an assessment on the whole county. The assessment comes back and shows that there's a lot of people who are underserved or just not served at all. Eventually, you want to get us to a point where we have an authority, right? Can you talk about what that
Yes.
entails?
Well, currently, because the state sees Lackawanna County with its 12-year wireless network system, or ISP, as an anomaly. They normally do not believe that government can actually serve the constituents properly. So having an authority, meaning that this authority will now govern the connection points and bring in an open network design. So this way we can, it's not just us, we're letting all the businesses in Lackawanna County help our residents. So this way they can get cost-effective internet no matter where they are.
Very good. Any questions for Director Brown or our CFO? Okay, thank you very much. With that, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second, on the question? On the question, just a couple comments on this. So today we're, as you heard from our CFO and Mike Brown, we're taking a very important step forward in shaping the future of Lackawanna County, a future that's more connected, more inclusive, and better prepared to compete in the economy today, which is a digital economy. So by awarding this contract to HRG, we are launching a comprehensive broadband assessment plan that's going to help us identify where the gaps are in Lackawanna County, especially in unserved and underserved communities, and develop real, actionable solutions to close them. This is a lot more than just about internet access. It's about economic opportunity. It's also about educational equity. It's about ensuring that every resident, whether you're in downtown Scranton, whether you're here in Blakely, whether you're in our most rural townships in the county, you have access to the infrastructure that you need to live, learn, and work in the 21st century. So this assessment plan is going to lay the foundation for expanding wireless and wired internet access throughout our county and enhancing everything that we currently have. So we're focused on ensuring that all residents in this county, regardless of your income or regardless of where you live, you can participate in the digital economy that we live in. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the resolution has been approved. Resolution 25-0162.
Commissioners, these are appointments to the Lackawanna Susquehanna Behavioral Health, Intellectual Disabilities, and Early Intervention Advisory Board. Be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County is hereby appoint the following individuals to the Lackawanna Susquehanna BHID-EI Advisory Board. Commissioner Chris Chermak, 123 Wyoming Avenue, Scranton, term to be effective immediately and expire December 31st, 2025. Ms. Kathleen Spencer of Dunmore, term to be effective immediately and expire on December 31st, 2029. Be it further resolved, the Board of Commissioners does hereby reappoint the following individuals. Mr. Martin McGurn of Scranton, his term is effective immediately and to expire on December 31st, 2028. Mr. Ray Hayes of Scranton, his term is effective immediately and to expire December 31st, 2028. Adopted regularly. The Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County held July 2nd, 2025. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I don't want to put you on the spot, Mickey, but do you want to just come up and explain to people, because this board is so important, both Chris and I know how important it is, but do you just want to explain kind of what you guys do and the impact that you have?
Absolutely, certainly. Thank you, Commissioners. And we appreciate the appointments to the board as they were announced today. So our program is responsible for overseeing the provision of behavioral health, intellectual and developmental disability services, and early intervention services, which are for children ages birth to 3 throughout Lackawanna and Susquehanna counties. We are responsible to provide crisis services, which are typically found through Scranton Counseling Center, which are available 24/7 to anyone who's experiencing a mental health crisis in the county, regardless of their insurance status. We also provide other community-based mental health and intellectual and developmental disability services, which help individuals with IDD and autism to acquire skills and lead successful lives in the community. And again, our early intervention services provide children aged 0 to 3 with chances for development, skill building, and specialized education.
That's great. Thank you very much. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Any questions for Mickey? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second, on the question. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the resolution has been approved. Resolution 25-0163.
Commissioners, these are appointments to the Lackawanna County Disability Action Committee. Be it resolved that the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County is hereby reappoint the following individuals to the Lackawanna County Disability Action Committee. Mr. Keith Williams of Clark's Green. His term is to begin immediately and expire December 31st, 2027. Mr. Robert Walsh of Scranton. His term is to begin immediately and expire December 31st, 2027. Mr. Patrick Williams of Clark Summit. His term is to begin immediately and expire December 31st, 2027. Be it further resolved that the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County does hereby appoint the following individual to the Lackawanna County Disability Action Committee. Ms. Marion Bedeau Obst of 1219 Schlager Street in Scranton, term to begin immediately and expire December 31st, 2027. Adopted regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County held on July 2nd, 2025. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second, on the question. On the question, I just, in relation to this piece of legislation, these appointments, July 31st from 1 to 4 p.m. at the Lackawanna County Trolley Museum, the Lackawanna County Disability Action Committee is hosting a town hall where the public will have the opportunity to discuss the needs of people with disabilities. There'll be representatives from the county there, including Commissioner Chermak and I, the city of Scranton, state legislators, and they'll provide updates on various programs and facilities throughout the county. And there is a keynote speaker, Dale Verchick, who is the head of the Disability Rights Network of Pennsylvania. So we'll put this on our website, and it'll be broadcast more and more in the upcoming weeks. But if anybody's interested in this, it should be pretty good. All those in favor of the resolution signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the resolution has been approved. Resolution 25-0164.
Commissioners, this is an appointment to the Lackawanna Heritage Valley Authority. Be it resolved that the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County is hereby appoint the following individual to the Lackawanna Heritage Valley Authority. Ms. Kathleen Tinlin of Scranton. Her term is to begin immediately and expire December 31st, 2029. Adopted a regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County held on July 2nd, 2025. Mr. Chairman.
I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second, on the question. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the resolution has been approved. Okay, now is the opportunity for the public to address the board. If you'd like to come up and address the board, you're free to do so at this point. You'll have 5 minutes. Traci, our Deputy Chief of Staff, is keeping the time, and just make sure you state your first and last name for the record. So if anybody would like to come up. Anybody? No? Okay, ma'am? Sure.
Okay, let's go back to the HRG contract. What is the cost going to be of that? 0161.
Hold on, I have that right here. So the contract is for 2 years, and the cost is, Dave, what's the final cost on that? I thought it was 100,000.
156.3.
156,300, and that money was budgeted. It is in this year's budget.
Is that for the total 2 years, or is that?
That's for the total 2 years, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, now, I'm not sure if there are any comments, or I have several questions in regards to the new assessment numbers. Chris, I believe from Monday night, it was determined that Tyler had no certified appraisers studying any of the assessments.
Well, so Tyler Technologies did all the values, all the reassessed values.
Right.
Now, they're compiling that information. They compiled it, they sent it out to the residents. Now the residents have their new assessed values. Now your opportunity is to go to the assessors hearings, apply for a hearing if you so see fit. The assessors boards will have certified people on the boards to go over the values.
Okay, but none of the people that they had were certified.
Well, yeah, you can answer that, but go ahead.
I was at the town hall
Right,
that night, and
so was I.
I recall, and I remember that attorney Patrick Lavelle, I believe he represented that there are no certified appraisers as employed by Tyler Technologies. So that, he did say that.
Okay, and also, that evening, it was stated that they did no vacant land, they had no vacant land to do a comparison.
Well, vacant land is turning out to be some issues there because they have no comparables to that, so, we have to look at the values, and again, that's a place for the appeal process to take a look and come up with a determination on what you feel and what the assessors boards are gonna feel the properties are worth.
Okay, so now presently on our tax bills, we have an assessed value. Do you know on the future tax bills, are they gonna put an assessed value, or are they going with market value?
So your new assessed value is basically market value.
Okay, because if you use the common level ratio from the state, like right now, if you had on your bill 20,000 and you did the division by 0.62, you would be valued at 322,000. So how is the common level ratio going to factor into any of this, or isn't it?
Yeah, you can answer that easier than I can.
It's my understanding that they're using the fair market value as determined by Tyler Technologies based on properties that sold from the time period of January 1st, 2022 until June 30th, 2024. So the common level ratio will be 1. It won't affect, this is the base year, so your value is your assessed value. Same thing, fair market value, assessed value. Going forward, the state will determine if there's a new common level ratio factor in future years.
Okay, because isn't the common level ratio actually set as of yesterday? Because it was up until June 30th for from last year to now, the 6th.
I believe it's set July 1st of every year.
Right.
This assessment, the new reassessment, the new values won't take effect till January 1st of 2026. So if the state is going to set a new common level ratio, it would be July 1st of 2026. That's my understanding.
Yeah, once we get,
PJ, once January 1st hits, the common level ratio will reset to 0.
Right.
For Lackawanna County, because we have a new assessment. And then it will adjust going forward depending on values of sales and so
yeah,
forth.
the whole problem with this is we've waited 60 years. That's the first problem. So once we get through the hearings and get everybody on, hopefully we get everybody in agreement. I mean, not everybody, but as many people as possible, residents and property owners, then we can move that forward. We're based, it's so convoluted, you're based on 1968 values, and then you throw in common level ratio, and then the millages, the values of the houses are here, the millages are here, well, now they're gonna be this way, and so it's very confusing right now. And once we get these numbers finalized and totaled, we'll be able to look at what the millage is gonna be, and then we can give everybody what their tax bill is gonna be, so.
Okay, but the millage is different than what's going to be on your tax bill. And where and when is all of that
The
going to
millage will be
decided?
figured out once they get the total assessed value, which they won't be able to do until after all the hearings are done.
Yeah, but millages are all set differently, whether it's school board, township,
Right, they're based
borough.
off your
Right.
budget, so the
Right.
school budget, the municipal budget, or the county budget. So, but you can't do anything until you get the total assessed value, so that's what we're working on now.
Right, but the bills then are generated, the tax bills, which are going to show not the assessed value, it's going to show the fair market value.
Well, right, but that is your assessed value.
All right, well,
So-
I know, but in the past, it showed a difference. Because if you went by the common level ratio, and that, it comes out to a different figure.
Yeah.
Now, I know you say you didn't do an assessment for 50-some years, but also the properties that were from 50 years ago are now 50 years older. And I know that my home, that when I got it, was already 60 years old, but before I bought it, was in there for 50 years.
And it's supposed to be based on what what you could sell your house for today. That's what we're gonna base values on, so. Let's see how it goes once we get through these hearings.
Okay, well, now going back to this fee notice and everything, will it said, like, if they set an appointment and no exceptions, well, what happens if you have a vacation planned, or you have a medical procedure planned, or you end up with an emergency? So now what?
We'll talk to the assessor's office, and I'm sure they can accommodate whoever.
Okay, because that seems very dictatorial that,
Well, we'll work around those situations.
okay.
So,
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Your 5 minutes is used up.
Maybe somebody will give me their 5 minutes.
Thank you, ma'am. Would anyone else like to address the board? No? Okay, sir.
I just want to express my thanks and gratitude to Commissioner Chermak for the town hall. Very informative, learned a lot, and I'm indebted and
Well,
really appreciate
That's
making
what it was
that
intended for, to get
and all the
information.
gentlemen that were
Yeah,
with you.
people are confused, and it just gives you an idea how to follow the process, what you need to do. So,
Could you just state your name for the?
Joseph Rappenglatt from Dalton.
Thank you.
Thank
I'll
you.
yield the rest of my time to the lady.
Yeah, because I have a question. You give me 5 minutes.
I can
but
talk-
I can speak for 5 minutes.
I can
He
talk,
spoke
I
for
can talk to you after the meeting.
3 minutes.
I'll talk to you
I know, but I
after.
think it'd be of interest to the public, because I would also like to know, and I'm sure the public will, and they all can't be here.
Ma'am.
You have
Ma'am.
you have a list of one-third, one-third. Is that available?
Let me stop you right there, okay, not to be rude. We could talk to you after the meeting, we can set up a meeting with Pat Tobin, but you have 5 minutes at these meetings, that's just the way our rules are. And the interaction between you and anyone else, that counts towards your 5 minutes, so.
Well, you should actually reconsider that, because those gentlemen, and I appreciate them speaking,
Okay.
or you speaking, but you probably spoke more than I did.
Okay.
So I probably spoke 2.5 minutes.
Okay. Would anyone else like to address the board? Councilman?
Yes, Lou Perry, Blakely Borough Council. I have a question on the construction of Main Street and the paving project. Has there been any update on as to when they're going to resurface that road?
Yes, I just talked to Larry Lukasik, our Director of Roads and Bridges, the other day. They're looking at the end of July, tentative right now. They're up at Montage now paving that area, but the end of July is when they're shooting for at this point. But we'll keep you up to date. As soon as we know a definitive date, we will absolutely be in touch with you to let you know, because of course it's going to affect the borough of Blakely and Archibald.
Lou, has the utilities, I haven't been up the road in a week or so, have they wrapped up their?
I believe Krieger was up there last week.
Yeah, so we're waiting for them, they have to finish before we.
I don't know if they're finished or not. No, there's.
Well, Larry's-
They're not working today.
Yeah, Larry's been watching them and talked with them, so as soon as the utilities are done, because none of us want them to dig up our new roads, so as soon as they're done, we're ready to go in.
But when they're going in and doing their their pave cuts, and they're like patching them in, I mean, they're doing a horrible
Yeah,
job.
we know.
It's, but just wanted to bring that to your
Yep.
attention. Thank you.
Thank you. Ma'am?
I wasn't going to speak to not bore those that already know this, but my name is Jennifer Mercero. I'm with Penn State Extension. I had a meeting with your office yesterday to introduce a few new bits that we have coming out. So the one I'm most excited about, I'll share. It's Welcome to the Real World curriculum. It's going to be designed to teach 8th to 12th graders how to manage money. And just some examples I gave yesterday, they'll be assigned a career, they'll be assigned a salary, and then through the curriculum, they work on like unexpected situations, such as maybe a broken car or an illness, and they have to manage their money. They're taught to use Venmo, credit cards responsibly, write checks, et cetera. So in the meeting yesterday, it was suggested for me to contact the Lackawanna County Library, which I did do. She's very excited, and she's already scanned the QR code to get her name in to be trained. I do want to get out there that we're offering Act 48 credits to this for teachers. We'll train them, then they can teach it in the classroom. They'll receive Act 48 credits. We're hoping to get something in that's convenient for the teachers, maybe possibly on an in-service day, or I'm not sure. That's Chrissy Pullman's area. But I did just want to get that out there, and we always thank you all for your support.
That's
Thanks.
great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Would anyone else like to address the board? Okay, thank you. Commissioner Chermak?
Well, I want to thank everybody for coming, and thanks for having us here at the Blakely Borough Building. I want to recognize Chief Salerno in the back. Appreciate you being here, and thanks for what you do. And also, Chief is heavily involved and keeps our SWAT team intact and on the cutting edge, right, Chief? Absolutely. But Chief and I have something to do this afternoon that probably neither one of us would ever, I know we don't want to have to be there and don't want to have to go through what we're going to go through later, but just veteran suicide. Veteran suicide, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but there are thousands and thousands every year, along with non-veteran suicides. You know, if you know anybody, in this particular case, I wouldn't have called it, not the other day, but you just never know. But if you have any idea, or if you think that somebody's having a problem, you know, we have the 988 number, which is the National Suicide Hotline number. Certainly 911. The local police departments can get help, but there is help out there. One is too many, and you know, we put together. When I first became a commissioner, we put together the Lackawanna County Suicide Prevention Alliance, which we got meetings that we get together almost every other month. The last I knew, we had about 150 different organizations and folks that are involved. And we just discuss different things every meeting. We have guests that come in and give talks and things to just keep everybody on the same page on what's going on throughout the area, what help is available. We have NAMI of Northeastern Pennsylvania. There's a bunch of different places here, but again, if you notice anybody you think might be having an issue, talk to them. And you know, the question, you know, that we're told to ask is, are you thinking about hurting yourself? Are you thinking about taking your own life? So, you know, you have to ask these questions. And again, 988 is the national number. 911 certainly can get you the help that is needed. So I urge people to really pay attention to what's going on. And so again, one's too many. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Chermak. You have heard me probably speak frequently at these meetings and elsewhere about the urgent need to improve the financial management and operations in the county to avoid the sort of financial calamity that I encountered upon taking office last year. And it's been well documented, the financial disaster that I inherited. To that end, we have implemented an array of management reforms that have finally begun to produce results, as reflected in a recent credit rating that characterized the county government's outlook as stable rather than negative for the first time in a very long time. Now, one of the most bewildering situations that we discovered last year was that the county, every year, had earned very little money from its cash flow. Scores of millions of collected tax dollars sat in the bank earning interest for the financial institutions rather than for county taxpayers. So to correct that, we worked closely with our county treasurer, Angela Rempe-Jones, and our CFO, Dave Bolzoni, and we approved the CashVest cash management program last summer. And you may remember that we announced this and talked about the benefits of it, or the potential benefits of it. Today, I'm happy to report that the program has begun to produce really unbelievable results. A big part of the problem was that there was no comprehensive system in place to monitor the county's accounts, more than 90 accounts in 7 different financial institutions. The CashVest program changed that by creating a comprehensive system, and the results have been really dramatic. For example, several accounts at Fidelity Bank earned an average 2.36% interest for the county in the last quarter. Now, due to the changes that we've made, the accounts will earn roughly 3.5%, creating an additional $400,000 in interest earnings for the county over the next 12 months. That's by basically doing nothing except actually being aggressive with these banks and going back and forth with them. The same is true for county accounts at other institutions. For example, the county will receive an estimated $190,000 in additional interest over the next 12 months on its accounts at PNC, and an estimated $220,000 in additional interest on its accounts at People's Bank. So that's almost $1 million because of the program that we implemented last year. Now, the revenue is estimated because it's based on interest rates going forward, and they could change. But even if the rates do decline, the interest rate increases ensure that county revenue will still increase. This is another indication that the financial management reforms that I pushed for and instituted last year are working. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of this meeting, we are still in a very tight financial situation, but I assure you that we're going to continue to look for ways to reduce costs and find creative ways to increase revenue. And if you take the $1 million that we generated here, just based on the program I just talked about, the $1.1 million in savings next year, based on what our HR Director, Joanne Decker, did with the RX Benefits Program, we are slowly but surely moving in the right direction. The only other thing I wanted to mention was we have our Scrantastic event, which is tomorrow. It starts at 4 p.m. down at Courthouse Square, fireworks, and at 7:30 we have the first time in a long time, the full Philharmonic. The entire band, the entire orchestra will be there, so we're really excited about that, and we hope that you'll come out to that. And once again, as Commissioner Chermak did, I want to thank all of the elected officials from Blakely for all the work that you do, and we're happy to be up here today. And of course, if you need anything from us, just make sure you reach out. Okay? Thank you. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second, on the question, all those in favor say aye. 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 Opposed? The ayes have it, and the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.